Jeremiah 29, verse 11, the New International Version. Quote, "For I know the plans I have for you," unquote, declares the Lord. Quote, "Plans to prosper you and not to harm you. Plans to give you hope and a future," unquote. Well, these verses, this is one of them in the Bible that can be taken out of context. When you look farther into Jeremiah 29 and you find that God had told them early on, approximately 800 years prior to this, he had promised Moses. Okay, to understand this verse, we look at the broader context. Let's look at this entire chapter of Jeremiah. And God wanted the people, while they were in captivity, during those 70 years in Babylon, he wanted them to build houses, to plant gardens, to help the city, help the families that were exiled there, to make it better. The Israelites as captives, they only saw that in Babylon they had enemies there that had taken them prisoner. They did not look at the welfare of the cities or pray on behalf of those cities. And God wanted to bless the people in these cities. God warned the people they should not listen to false prophets that would say that this was contradictory to God, what God was telling them. God reminds them that after 70 years of being in captivity, that he would fulfill his promises and he would bring the people back to their homeland of Israel. That was in Jeremiah 29, verse 10. So God knew the plans he had made for Israel, and he had given his word that he would bring those home and that they would be fruitful, productive, would be such a blessing. God determined that he would remove the people so that the land of Israel would rest, and its Sabbaths that it did not enjoy them because of the people's disobedience. This was in Leviticus 26, verse 34 to 35. God decided that years of exile would be 70, based on the number of Sabbath years that the people had violated his command to let the land rest. And so God kept his word, and he judged them, and he sent them into captivity in Babylon for 70 years. After the 70 years of exile were completed, God did indeed bring the people back into the land of Israel, and he gave the promise of a new covenant in Jeremiah 31, which would result in the salvation of the entire people of Israel. Jeremiah 29, verse 11 is often used out of context and taken as a personal or an individual promise of deliverance today. But it's actually a record of God's faithfulness to an entire nation, specifically Israel. In Jeremiah 29, God encouraged the people of Israel that they could count on him, and his word was good. It is very evident that God has plans for those who have trusted in Jesus. It's certain that these plans are for peace and for hope. He knows the plans he has for Israel, plans for peace and a future of hope. He knows that the plans he's made for us have a future and hope. You are his workmanship, designed for the good works that he has prepared beforehand. This is in Ephesians chapter 2, verse 10. He has made your relationship with Him, your eternal place with Him, totally secure. That's in 1 Peter 1, verses 3 through 5.